Hello, welcome to another episode of OK Karen
Okay, Karen
with Betsy.
and Angela.
And thanks for coming back or coming for the first time. Today we are going to talk about some of our books that we read in our
Hold
little.
on. We need to thank our subscribers. We have
Oh,
a couple more subscribers.
oh, we do. Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Subscribers, Angela, take it away.
So we have to shout I have to shout out my niece, Dana. She got her boyfriend Elijah and her good friend Emma to
Oh,
subscribe. So yay, y'all.
thanks,
I don't know if
Elijah
they're
and Emma.
listening.
And thanks, Dana, for bringing in the people. So cheers to
Yes.
Dana. I am drinking out of this lovely tumbler that someone gave me, my best friend, and it says, "We'll be friends until we're old and senile, and then we'll be new best friends."
Yes. I think I recognize that cup.
Yes. And I was like, oh, we're not there. We're not senile yet, but yeah.
Not quite.
Okay, Karen.
Although someone did tell me we're on the last nine holes of our life. You
Oh,
know, yeah, yeah. That hurt a little in the heart when that
you
was said
didn't
to
say
me.
that.
No, they didn't. And then I started doing some math, and I was like, yeah, that's probably accurate.
Don't do the math. Let's just
Yeah,
drink our wine and not do the math, okay? And
that's right.
we're gonna talk about some books tonight. So
Yeah,
we started a little book club called the 3,000 Mile Book Club. be-
right.
because at the time, the farthest a couple of the members were from each other was 3,000 miles away. And so we talk back and forth on Marco Polo. We read a book every month and discuss it as we go. And it's totally our speed and it's been really enjoyable.
And it's not every month. We do January, February, March, take off April. Then May, June, July, take off August. Then
Yeah.
September, October, November, take off December. So 9 books a month. Some books,
9 books a year.
yeah, 9 books a year. Yeah. Some books run into the next month. That, though, we try to put those in
If
the,
it's a longer, yeah.
yeah, before we have the off time.
So we've
So,
definitely tweaked it. Now we make a list for like the whole year at a time. And like we try and, do something like a rom-com in February or like a thriller in October.
right.
So we've kind of like you said, twinned it,
And
so to speak.
And for me, it's opened to different genres because I never read like thrillers. We don't read horrors, but thrillers, suspense, that generally wasn't what I went to. And now they're one of some of my favorite books.
Yes,
So
yes.
it has opened me up to just not just the kind of light and fluffy stuff, but yeah, other really good
Yeah.
books. So let's start talking about it because
Let's get into it. We
I
got like
think
4 or 5 books to discuss tonight.
and I think my top favorite of that year absolutely was The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna.
Which, if you're into books, you probably have heard of this, if not read it yet. If you haven't read it yet, you should read it. It's very good.
It's so this is, I still think about this book, not on a daily basis, but
Yeah.
maybe a weekly basis. It's set in World War II. It is about two sisters, and it's kind of how women, because we all know what the men did in World War II, and we appreciate the storming the beaches in Normandy. Women didn't do that, but women still kind of took a role in the war, and this tells what two sisters did and what their role was. And oh
No,
my
I
gosh.
have goosebumps right now talking about it because I haven't talked about it in a while. But it goes so much into their life and their relationships. So I love that part of storytelling. And
Yeah.
then the other thing is, like, honestly, Angela, when we've brought up other books, like, oh, we could read this that have their, like, the time frame of World War II, either
Hmm.
not really war books, but about a story that happened at that time or someone that was involved in the war. I honestly shy away from them now because I read The Nightingale and I'm like, it's not going to be as good as The Nightingale. Like, I
Oh, yeah.
automatically am like, it can't be that good because I just really enjoyed the storyline so much of the girls and their families and what they went through and just everything.
And
Um,
it was so heart-wrenching. I remember at the end of this book just just crying. Like I
yeah.
literally was, it was like I had someone that passed. It was so just gut-wrenching and those still so beautiful and just
Yes.
a wonderful book. And I've heard some people that are like, oh, I don't like Kristen Hanna. I don't like how they write, how she writes. I enjoy her writing. I've talked to other people that have read Kristen Hanna because I have two other Kristen Hannas to read. Um, One is the women that's based in the Vietnam War, and then one's the Great Alone. I think that's like a family in Alaska. And they said those are all gut wrenching too. So I just have to prepare
Yeah,
myself
you
to
have to
do
get
that.
yourself ready for that.
Yes, yes,
You know, the thing is there are some books that I've read that are sad, that are just kind of depressing.
yeah,
And I think one, because we read this book with other people, I think that helped because like you kind of process it. And there's sometimes where I've read and then I kind of wait, we kind of wait for other people to catch up and talk about it. And I think that helped me like just kind of not grieve, but process it.
process
And
it.
there's other books that we read that were just kind of sad, and you're like, I don't want to recommend this to anybody. This is
Yeah,
depressing, you know?
yeah,
And this is not that. So it can be sad, but like you said, it's still a very beautiful story and still have closure at the end of the story versus like this is just making me cry and it's miserable. So it is a
yeah.
very such a beautiful story, even though it's sad. Like obviously, you know, kind of going into it, it's probably gonna be sad. You know,
Right.
somebody's not gonna make it out because of this, because of
And
what
I'm going to tell
you
you, don't. It's a long book,
hmm
but don't think just the end is sad. This
Oh
book
yeah.
has just, I mean, it is sadness.
No,
It's
don't.
sadness throughout.
But we
Prepare
want
your.
you to read it.
Oh, we do, because it is fantastic.
Yeah,
But prepare yourself for this book.
sure. Yeah.
Don't read this book if you're already kind of like down and not feeling the greatest. Go read another book that we recommend, but not this one then.
But definitely a message of hope and of like
Oh yeah.
bravery, strength, love, you know, like I think
Because we
that
know how World War II ended.
right.
So, good guys won, yay. But yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
And supposedly this is supposed to turn into a movie. I've heard that.
I've heard
It's
it for
like Dakota
years.
Fanning and what's her sister's name?
I don't remember.
It's another Fanning,
Yeah, they're
obviously.
fanning.
Um, that other one. They're supposed to be in the movie. So, but I've heard it,
That'd be
and it
cool if they
even
got
says
sisters
here.
playing sisters.
Yeah, it even says supposed soon to be a major motion picture. I don't know what happened to that movie.
No, because we like we said we read this in 2023 and it
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
brand new when we read it. It was already a few years old. So
Right.
so yeah, we've been doing this book club for 4 years, Angela.
That's
Look at us. Who would have
what
thought?
I know because we started it before that 2023.
Yes,
2023
we
was
did.
my
Yeah,
first
because
year. Yeah.
we do have some other reviews if you'd like. There's a playlist on our YouTube channel and episodes on our podcast if you're listening right now too that are bonus episodes and they're 5 minute book reviews of other ones that we just go through 5 minutes about this book if you're interested. So check those out as well. All right, let's move
I
on to
actually have
Kristen
no
Hanna.
idea what books we did
Well, we
on
did The
there.
Luckiest Girl Alive before they made
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah,
movie,
yeah.
right before
Okay.
the movie came out.
So that's both of our probably number ones, right? The Nightingale. It's for
Um,
sure my number one.
in that genre, yes.
Yes.
And
Okay.
there's another one I really like that's a completely different
Ooh.
style book, which is
Which is
one that you really like also, but I chose it and I'm really glad that I picked a good one for our book club.
and what book is that?
Anxious People.
Oh yeah, I have it here, people.
Look at this.
Anxious.
Anxious
So
People.
by Frederick Bachman.
And I think Angela was a little hesitant with this one because it's the same author as A Man Called Uve, A Man Named Uve.
And
Ove.
if you've read that book was super well, it had a very sad undertone, and then
Yes.
at the end it was kind of like, but it was
I think
rough getting through.
it's kind of a darker humor.
Is
And
it funny?
it is, and I think that so I was reading this book was on a lot of lists, but it's not as well known as the other one, and I think this one of his work was way better than Man Called Ove. So if you liked that one, you'll probably like this one a lot more.
I
Um,
think so
it
too,
just
but
it wasn't depressing, but it was definitely like it's all different people. You can tell them the premise.
right. It's it's a bank robber, and there is a group of people in an apartment. They're trying to sell an apartment. So a group of people are in their apartment trying to get it, and the bank robber comes in. And then so there's how many characters would you say?
I don't
Like
know,
10?
10 or 12. Yeah, 10.
Yeah. And here's the thing. This guy, this author is well known, but I don't hear a lot about this book in particular.
That's what I
And
mean. I was like, why isn't this one of his better selling ones?
yeah, because he has Beartown, he has A Man Called Uve, and then this one, and I have not read Beartown, I'll be
I
honest,
have
but
not either.
I thought this was better than A Man Called Uve. This to me was it was hard. It was good for the soul, but it was also funny.
Yes.
And I also like y'all know me. I like things that end nicely. I'll just say it like that. So, and this did end like that. So it's not like, you know, everyone died.
That's good. So I thought it was really neat. Like the characters were kind of fun and quirky, and it
Hmm.
felt like a different writing style and a different like discussion of the characters. Like it was very real. Like this is real people, real problems, but in a way that's not like other authors and how they write, if that makes sense. So it felt like a different type of book than I'm used to reading. So it
And
was
what is he? Swedish? Because
something not North American. I
yeah,
don't remember.
because
I have
his
no idea.
books they take place in another country,
Okay.
and you pick up on that pretty. But it's still a great read. I mean, that's nothing against it. I'm just saying different.
So
Um,
quirky, fun, but also like with serious undertones. Like these are real people, real problems, real life, but the way he writes it is interesting. So
yes.
yeah.
Now this says it's a Netflix series. I don't know if I watched this. If it's a Netflix series, did you?
No,
Do you
I didn't
remember?
know that. Mm-mm.
So I'm gonna have to look on Netflix and see one if they have it still, and two because that was like 2 years ago. So
Yeah.
that's interesting though because we
Okay. So
both
we
did
might have
enjoy
to do
that.
a different review if we watch the Netflix one. We could say,
Ooh,
who did
yeah.
it better, the book or the TV series? It's always
Let's
the book, let's
yes,
be honest. So,
yeah,
all right.
always.
So next,
So next, I really enjoyed this book, The Hotel Nantucket
yes.
by Ellen Hildenbrand, and
I don't
this
remember who
book
picked this one.
I did.
You did. Okay.
Yes, because I saw it a lot. And this book makes me want to, one, go to Nantucket, not move to Nantucket, but just at least go. But
Go
go for
visit.
like, I would love to go for like a month, not just like, oh, I'm here for a long weekend.
A
Wouldn't you love to
month.
stay? Yeah. I mean, that's not going to happen because I have a job, but I take off a month just for, just to go to Nantucket. Also, I don't know if I could afford Nantucket. So this lady, she must live in Nantucket. I think she does because a lot of her books are set in Nantucket.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, and I've actually read a couple of her other books, and have really enjoyed this. This is kind of like a lighthearted summer read. This is a really good summer read. Summer's coming up, people. If you don't have anything to read, I would recommend.
Easy, fun
Yeah,
read.
yeah,
What there was a surprise in the beginning. So it's the basic premise is it's several different characters that you're following. All right.
yes.
But the one of them is like restoring this hotel and is the manager of the hotel. That's what it's based around. But there's people staying there and work there that you're hearing their stories, which I like. I think we both like movies and books where you're hearing, several different people's stories and how they all,
Point of views.
yes, they all kind of
Yeah.
come together. But there is a ghost.
Hmm.
And we were all like, wait, what? We're like two
But
chapters in and we're like, wait, huh? I'm looking
but
at the
it's
book.
not
I'm
a
like,
scary ghost. Not
no, no,
scary,
it's just
y'all.
another character. It's just another character
Yes.
who's telling you their story. And but none of us knew that. So we all of us were just like, wait, what am I reading? And but I
Yeah.
mean it's great. We enjoyed it. But it was just a funny quirk there, a couple chapters in. Everybody's like, wait, huh?
There's a ghost. Did not
There's a
expect
ghost.
that.
Here we are.
And a ghost that is funny, but then you kind of, feel bad for her a little bit, how she became a ghost and why she's a ghost and why she's still hanging around the hotel. So yeah, this was a good read for me. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I like that one too. I mean, the Nightingale and Anxious People I liked better than that one, but I did enjoy that one. It was an
But
easy, light read.
al- also so very different. The
Yes.
Nightingale, very serious, very I don't even know if I laughed in the Nightingale. Did I laugh? Is there
No,
funny parts?
I
Yeah.
don't think there's funny
Yeah.
parts. There's
Yeah,
nice parts that are like, oh, that's nice,
right.
but
But
not like funny.
mm-mm,
No.
yeah,
Or
no,
quirky. No.
no, no. And Anxious People and The Hotel Nantucket. Yeah, I kind of laughed at both of those.
Yeah.
Anxious People could be a good summer read too.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
very long, quick. That would be a good summer read also.
Okay.
All right. So what's your another book that you liked?
I don't remember the last one I
Yes,
told
you do. You told me to go get it.
I know, I was like looking it up. Oh, The Woman in Cabin 10. I was like, go get
Yes.
one off the shelf because I don't have the physical copies. I either get it from the library, most books, or I'll do ebook or I'll do audio. Um,
And I am a book person, so I like to get the books.
My husband is a book person, and we
I
have
know.
so many bookshelves, as you can see behind me on all of our walls here, and Legos. So I feel like I just don't want to add more because we don't have any more space for books. So I'm like, I'll just get it from the library. Now, if there was one that I really loved, like I would be like, this is one I want to have in my collection.
Okay, so you really liked this.
Ruth Ware, and she's
Ruth Ware.
a very
Yeah.
popular author. This is I
Yes.
think the only one I've read of hers.
And this is a kind of older book. Yeah, I haven't read any more of her books. I'm trying to see when this came out. 2016. And we read it in 2023, and it was an older book then. So, but this was a very popular book when it came out because it kind of had like the suspense and then
Yes.
twist and what?
This
So,
is I would say this is a page turner and it's a thriller. It's a who done it, like what's happening.
right.
So you want to
Yes.
know, and almost every chapter it ends with like a line or two where you're like, wait, what? And then
You
you
want to
know what I mean?
start the
It's
next
like,
chapter.
yes, it's like binge watching a show like that when you're like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm just gonna read one more chapter. Like I just what does that mean? Um,
Right.
which is super fun. And I think this one, like when we're reading with other people, when we get to probably like the last quarter of the book,
We
we're just
just
like, okay, everybody just read till the end
finish
because
it.
people are up at like, 1 a.m. and they're like, I just finished the book. I couldn't stop reading. And so I'm like, okay, we all just need to finish it and then talk about
Right.
it, you know? So it's super fun page turner, but not scary. Like you could read
Mm-mm.
it at night before you go to bed. You're not going to be like, because some things Angela's like, I don't want to turn off the light and be in my house in the dark. I can't read that at night. But this one was fine.
No, suspenseful, yes. Like you said, who done it? Yes, but not scary at all. And it was, I'm surprised they haven't made this into a movie because this was so popular when it came out.
Well, and it'd be an easy movie.
Yeah,
They'll
yeah.
probably make it into a series, and I'll be annoyed because I'm like, you could have done that in an hour and 30 minutes, and you made it
Right.
like a 10-part
10
series,
hours. Yes.
just to make money. But I also think that what they turn into a movie or a series are the ones that are the biggest sellers.
But
Uh,
this was when it first came out. Like I said, we picked this book up years after because when I was telling people, oh, this is what our book club is reading, majority of them had said, oh, yeah, I've already read that, because it was big years before.
was this as big as though, like Big Little Lies big?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It
This
was.
was
Okay.
like,
Okay.
how the silent patient was big?
Hmm.
This was like big like that when it came out originally.
Okay. Sure.
So that's why it kind of surprises me. And I guess they won't because it's almost 10 years old. I mean, yeah, it's almost 10 years old.
Yeah.
So, um, but yeah, this was definitely, we finished this before the month. Like some books we can finish super quick in our book club. This was one of them. I think we
Yeah.
probably finished this in like 2.5 weeks because it was
Yeah.
just, everyone was just, okay, what else? What else? You
That should
just
have been a
want to,
February. We need to do those in February. The ones in the
yeah,
page turners. So you have a couple less days in February.
right.
Um, so we have covered so we just named a few that we read in 2023.
Right.
And we've covered several different genres, which is why we try and mix it up because there's some that we read, we try and do a classic. The classic for 2023 was not a hit with Angela at
Listen,
all.
y'all, it was Dr. Thorne
Hmm.
and shout out Jenny,
Jenny,
bless
she's
her
not here.
heart.
She might be on the next one as our guest.
She
Dr. Thorne
recommended Dr.
by
Thorne.
Anthony
I don't know,
Trollope.
some old person. Because when I read the first page, that was only half a page because it had the number one and then half a page of words. that half a page probably took me 10 minutes because I read it and then I was like, I mean,
Huh?
it is in English and I speak English, but I
It is
don't
old
know what they
English.
said.
So we kind of had read that the story was really good, and then it
Did
was more
we?
like a Jenny had, yeah, and
Mm.
that it was like a they'd made TV series out of it and movies out of it because of the story, which would be a better option for us, I think. But and that it was kind of a Jane Austen, it was like around the same time as her writings, and we're like, okay, we love Jane Austen. And it was a difficult read. Angela, this was the only book in our book club that Anne was like, Angela said, I can't do it, Betsy. Y'all just have to read
No,
on without me. I
because
can't do it. And
not.
that's when she got started on audiobooks because I was like, here's the link to the audiobook and you can do it, Angela. You can't drop out. We're the ones that started this book club. And the audiobook was better.
Oh, but yes, because here's the only other thing. It's not like, oh, this book was in Old English and it's 200 pages. It's like, no, this book is in Old English, really small writing, like really fine print of like 500 pages, 400 to 500 pages. And I told Betsy, I mean, it took me a whole day to get through chapter one and to know what they were talking about. Not
Hmm.
just like, oh, I read it, and actually retain like, okay, well, this is the storyline kind of. And I told Betsy, I was like, I can't do this. I cannot do this. That felt like schoolwork to me. And books to me, if it's not fun or entertaining or, somewhat, because I love reading. I really do. I love like the stories and all that. This was a lot. And this was a lot. If you remember, Dr. Thorne had a lot of details that
A
to
lot of
me
side
was,
stories too.
yes,
I was like,
completely
why am I here?
unnecessary.
There's like a whole chapter on like an election in the
Yes.
town, and I'm like, wait, are
And
these aren't main characters? Who are these people? What are they? And they didn't have much to do with the plot. So I
an
think it was
English election at that, not even like American politics. So I'm like, oh, what are they even talking about?
yes. So there were some different, definitely a different writing style, like pulling in those kind of like side plots. And I'm like, is he just trying to add? And I wonder if editing was very different. Like I feel like maybe at that time, literally people wrote a whole book and then they just had someone publish it. Did they have editors that were like, we need to get this down. Why is this
Yeah.
chapter in here? Like,
Yeah.
let's
What's
look
the
at this
point of this?
storyline of this. I don't know that they did. I mean, maybe the editors literally were just like checking their grammar, but weren't looking on like the flow of the story and the characters. And I do think I just feel like it needed to be edited a little bit.
Yeah, because I could have edited that book down to like 150 pages.
Oh my God.
Here it is. Now, Jenny said she watched because I think there's a series, like a limited series, and she said that was very good.
And I
I
think it's
think.
like BBC, which
Yes.
I mean, it was very fitting and they did a good job with it. Like the Pride and Prejudice on BBC is my favorite. So,
Right.
but yes, I watched some of that and I could tell who all the characters were and it moved along at a good pace. Like it was a great story and I enjoyed it. So that might be the route
Yeah.
to go. But even though you did not enjoy Dr. Thorne is what you got into your audiobooks, what made you get into audiobooks. So we have to be thankful for
You
that.
know, that's a good silver lining there because I
Yeah.
don't know and now if I'm not listening to a podcast, I'm listening to an audiobook every morning.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
There's another book though I did enjoy in 2023. I wanted to mention because I like this author too. Apples
Okay.
Never Fall. Do you remember this
Leanne,
book?
Leanne Moriarty.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you said her name and not me.
I'm
Uh,
trying here.
but
I don't think
she
I've read any of her other books, but after we read this one, some of the people in book group looked up her other books and read them as well.
Right. Yes. And I've actually read like three. She wrote Big Little Lies. Did you ever see that on Netflix with Reese Witherspoon and I mean a slew of people, Nicole Kidman.
Yes.
Um,
I don't think it was Netflix though, but yes, it was streaming.
yeah, whatever that service is.
I
Everything to me is
didn't
almost
read the
Netflix.
book, but I watched the series of Big Little Lies.
You didn't read
And
this
then,
book?
no, Big Little Lies I didn't read.
Oh,
I only
yeah.
saw the series. Apples
I
Never
actually,
Fall doesn't have a TV series yet or a
yes, it does. They came out with it, and I'll tell you why I know that because
Oh, I did see
it
a
was
preview for it.
And either you started it or Jenny, and they said you said it was so different from the book that you didn't even finish it.
It must have been
Annette
it must have been Jenny. Jack.
Annette Benning was in it. What's her name? You know who I'm
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah, I do.
She was the mom in it. So this is a good. I like how she writes. I like, but this was about a
It's
mom that
family
goes missing.
a mom that goes missing, but like it's the family dynamic
Family done. Yeah.
or adult children, and the dad, and they're all like, what's going on? Where is mom?
Right.
And so it was interesting. It was good. It was fast paced because again, you want to
Hmm.
like read on and you're learning kind of like the backstory of each of the kids and the dad and the mom and figuring out what's going on with the mom. So yeah, so I really liked that. I liked that one too. It was easy, quick read, super,
Right.
yeah.
And I feel like all of her books. So if you kind of want like easy book. You do kind of. I mean, you don't have to think, but you do are trying to figure out, like, who, like you said, who done it. Because
Yeah.
same with Woman in Cabin 10. Now, Hotel Nantucket, completely mindless. You don't have to think about anything. Just read it and enjoy it. But the others, you don't have to think, but you are trying to piece things together.
Yes.
Betsy, you're very good at doing that because I just read to read. And Betsy's like chapter 4 or 5. She's like, okay, this is who I think did it. And I'm like, what? Are you are you serious? And most of the time she's close to that,
You
you
just
know.
throw, what do they say? Throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. So
Yeah. I don't throw anything at my walls.
you're like, why are you even thinking?
And
But you
I
know what? Even if
sometimes
you can predict it, it still can be an enjoyable read or enjoyable movie. I still watch things, and so do you if you know how it's going to turn out. Be like,
right.
okay, we still like it.
Right. And what I like too, when you think, oh, it's going this way and then it turns and you're
Yes.
like, oh, I did not see that coming. And I love books like that or movies,
Yes. We have an
that,
episode on that. I will link it here up at the
what
top.
is that?
Here. Here. We have I
What is
forgot
that?
because we didn't do our podcast for 3 years. We did a podcast on movies with a twist. Our favorite
Hmm.
movies that have a big twist in them. So I guys check
Oh,
that. Okay, so that's some of our book lists that we did a couple years ago, and I'm going to name a couple more and give see what Angela's opinion are on these. The first one is the first one is Bitter Orange by Claire Fuller. What did you think of
yeah.
that book?
I did not like that book.
I didn't
Here's
like
why I didn't like it.
Okay.
Because I felt like why did I read this? There was like nothing
It
that
was
happened.
it was like a who done it, like what's going on. So we were reading and
No,
like
not a who done it. A what's going on. The
what's
whole
going
time you're
on?
like,
It was
what's the point
confusing.
of
What is
this?
going on? And there was
Yeah.
all these things that happened, and you
Remember,
expect them
like
at
there were
the
like
end.
eyes on the
Yeah, like
wallpaper, and we're like,
wallpaper
oh,
peacock
okay,
eyes were cut out. But at the end, they didn't explain who did that.
nothing,
Why is
nothing.
that there? And
Yeah,
so there were several, like a dead bird that somebody had killed and left on the window ledge, she thought, but it never was explained what happened. So the whole
right.
time you're thinking that something is going on, and then it's not really. And so it's just very confusing. So it was
Yeah,
like you could take a book that's a page turner and a like thrilling, and you want to see what's going on. But then it didn't really, it kind of said what was going on. It just didn't add up at the end. There wasn't closure, there wasn't things explained. So it was not my favorite. So I'm gonna give
no.
it that.
And
And
actually, I borrowed that book from a friend
yeah.
and then gave the book back to the friend and then thought to myself, I don't need to go buy this book and have it
Yeah,
on my
right.
shelf,
There you
because I
go.
was just like,
Okay, so that wasn't one of our favorites. Bitter
"Mm,
Orange, and Angel doesn't even have a book to show you because it didn't even make it onto her to you. It was your pick.
well, sorry.
Okay, Karen.
Make a mistake once in my life, Karen.
And then the other one, which was my pick, and I think I'm like, am I sure which one this is? It was the bookshop on the corner,
Oh, yeah.
Andy Colgan. And I think I chose that one. So
Oh,
what
yeah, that was yours.
I ended up looking for books that were similar to this one that we really loved, which we do have a book review for, which was the Guernsey Literary and
Oh,
Peel Pie Club.
literary club.
Literary
Literary's in there. Yeah.
Literary and Potato Peel Pie Club, which we all love that book.
Oh,
And so I was
yeah.
like, we need to look for more like that. And I think this was on a list that it was similar to that. This is the one with the van, right?
Yes, she creates like
Cute.
a she creates a bookstore in her van, which is kind of right up our alleys because I'm going to tell you, I love bookstores. I do buy some books from Amazon, but I love like just walking through Barnes and Noble is just very relaxing for to
Yeah.
me, you know. And I know some people that's not their thing, and that's fine, but it
Mhm.
is relaxing for me. So because there's really not a whole lot of bookstores around. But this book I liked because of that, like the essence, a bookstore, blah, blah, blah.
And
And it
she's
was a
in,
cute
is she in
book.
England or Ireland? I thought it was
I don't
Ireland.
know. She's not in the
Scotland.
United States. I know
Might be
that.
Scotland. It's been a while. I don't remember. It's been a couple of
She
years.
could be in Austria for all we know.
No, I think it was
She
Scotland.
wasn't in Germany or Russia.
It was either Scotland or England. Anyway, she was in somewhere. Anyway.
Different country, not in
Um,
America, because they do drive on the wrong side of the road in the book.
oh, okay. For them, we drive on the wrong side of the road.
Well, they're not doing this podcast.
Okay. Okay, Karen. Okay, Karen. Okay. So,
You could say
we
that in
liked
your
it.
book.
It was a cute, easy read, kind of figuring out your life, rom-com, with this 20
This is kind
something.
of around, this would be a good like February book, maybe even
Yeah.
a quick summer read,
That was
like,
cute. It was
yeah,
cute. Yeah,
it
and
was cute.
she references a lot of books. I think that was one of the
Yeah,
fun things, right? She was always like, "What about this book and this character?" And like she would take her van around and choose books for kids that she saw and adults that she saw, and she kind of knew like, "Oh, you like this? What about this?" And so there was a lot of book references, which is fun, for people who like books. So there you go, the
right.
bookshop
And,
on the
and
corner.
book references that you would get. You don't have to be necessarily like an avid reader. Like,
Mm.
everyone knows. Well, I wouldn't say everyone, but most people know like Pride and Prejudice or the big books, people, Dracula, blah blah blah. Things like that. So you would
Dr.
still get it if you're not an
Thorne.
avid reader. What was that?
Said Dr. Thorne, the
Oh,
ones people know.
no. She did not recommend Dr. Thorne to anyone. And poor Jenny, she
Yeah.
hasn't recommended a book in the book club since then, you
She,
know?
we have one of her picks for this. She recommended an Agatha Christie one, and then we
Mm.
chose which of Agatha Christie. It's on our list for 2025. I
For
think
this
for
year.
October. Yeah. I think that's it for this book.
Your favorite being?
Probably the Nightingale.
Yeah, my
For
favorite, the Nightingale.
yeah, I mean, but the other ones we talked about first, those are high up there. They're just a different genre. So, you know, just
Yeah,
depends on what you're looking for, you know?
right.
So we
But
will be back with more book reviews. Please tell us if you have suggestions, your favorite book that you read this year or your favorite book you read your whole life. Comment below. It might go on our
your
list.
whole life. Now let's not get into Charlotte's Web, people.
Well,
Or what's the I Am Sam or Green Eggs and Ham? We don't need to talk about those books.
I just read that yesterday.
Well, you have small kids.
Yeah, I'm reading Beatrix Potter and Green Eggs and Ham, Dr. Seuss.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So
A friend of mine did text today in a group chat, and she listens to audiobooks because she drives an hour to work every day. And she said, "Hey, I'm looking for new books if anyone has recommendations." So I shot her about two or three, but I've sent that out in the group chat too. Any new books from people, and she'll, give me some.
nice, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right. I hope y'all enjoyed this. This was a quick episode. Mom, you are welcome.
Oh my gosh. All right. Good night or goodbye, everyone. And
Yes.
see you in the next episode.
Yes. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.